Hello my dear friends, in this video I'm going to highlight an uncommon situation in which a CTR can be used. I'm also going to try to explain to you how a CTR should be implanted by the hand-on-hand technique into the eye. This patient had a non-dilating pupil and a grade 3 to 4 nucleosclerotic cataract. So I'm not going to show you the phaco portion. Let's come to the end of the phaco after the nucleus has been successfully emulsified, and now I'm working on the epinucleus with the phaco probe in the epinucleus mode. I'm able to get out all the epinucleus. While doing the cortical aspiration, I noticed something very peculiar because this bag was housing a very large nucleus. Once I started doing the coaxial IA, I found that the capsular bag central portion was extremely mobile and it kept trampolining. The capsular rex's size was about 5.5 millimeters, and while trying to access the peripheral cortex, the rise of the central portion of the capsular bag was making it very difficult for me to access the cortex in the periphery. The minute the fluid is pulled out, the central portion of the chamber collapses. Now this is an indication for the use of the CTR. Now before using a capsule tension ring, you first have to rinse it in balanced salt solution. You fill the small depression that is seen in the packaging itself to get rid of free radicals due to ETO. Three sizes are there: 12.3, 13 and 14.5, which is used for axial lengths of less than 24 to 28 millimeters and more than 28 millimeters. The capsule tension ring is made of PMMA material and therefore it can be compressed. Newer CTRs have a small indentation at one end, and this is the indentation that has to be fed into the eye because this knuckle will prevent the snagging of the capsule or the capsular bag as you insert it and as you thread it into the capsular bag. This will prevent the worsening of zonular dialysis. The best way is to grip it with the help of two plain forceps. Now as you see, the two plain forceps are held at a distance about 1/3 from its two eyelets. The second plain forceps will enable you to control the direction of feeding the CTR. CTR is fed in a downward direction while the eyelet that's fed inside the eye moves in the opposite direction. This occurs because the CTR gets bent along a fulcrum, which is the edge of the capsular rexus. Now once the CTR is got into the right plane, then by gentle pressure it is fed into the capsular bag. Now when you put the trailing eyelet inside the eye, it can be done with an intraocular forceps, or I prefer to use a Sinskey hook. Make sure that you engage the eyelet properly with the Sinskey hook so it does not slip. Then it can be released with the help of a second instrument, which could be a iris repositor. Once the CTR goes inside the capsular bag, this gives a horizontal stretch to the equator of the capsular bag, and then the capsular bag behaves itself, the trampolining will stop, and it will be so much more easier for you to access the peripheral recesses of the capsular bag and remove all the cortical matter safely and soundly. Thank you for your attention.